Okay, so I'm going to follow up with what we left the last time. Was a little bit trouble with the iPad. So I'm going to add in more dimensions. Okay, so I would add in a distance between the wall and the front of the cabinet, 1.5. Okay, 1.25, 1.2, 1.2. Okay. So I'm a little bit short of space, and I'm just going to use my eye to do a parallel line. Okay, because my my T-square is not reaching. Okay, so and then I have some kind of a cabinet there. I don't have a space. Okay, so bed planning. Okay. 1.740 as this distance. 1.740. 1.5, 6, 7, 40 using 50. Okay, here. So I know this is the wall. Once you get familiar with something, you can start to guess. You don't have to, always measure the wall, which my wall is 250, because the brick is 240, and then plus some plastering and the surface material. Okay, so I'm going to finish just a little bit of detail. One thing you want to do is you want to be dark enough so that you can choose over. So if it's too light, then make it a little bit darker. Especially okay, so here, oh, mistake. I have a sliding door. Here is my window. Window, in terms of drafting, you can draft much lighter than the wall. You can draw in a little detail of the window frame. So now is the sliding door. I have 319 in there, so I'm going to measure 319 using my fake scale ruler. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 390 is almost 400, so it's almost here. Okay. 390. So it's not very big sliding door. 1.2. Okay, 1.2. So there's a problem. Okay, 914. 1240. 390. This one is significantly bigger. Okay, what happened is and also I have a little bit trouble with the dimensions, so I needed to actually reduce. some of the dimension in order for it to work, which probably is this one and this one. Okay. So now I have a 190 and 1.2. It's almost exactly here. So let's just use this. This is about 100, so slightly less. So anyway, that's why when we measure the overall dimension, we would use the overall dimension, but once we are, sorry, this one is overall dimension, but once we add the smaller dimensions together, it's a little bit more. So there's 20 millimeter to centimeter more. So we should reduce some of this. So I can reduce a little bit here and I can reduce a little bit here, just so that the windows and the doors are not reduced. Okay, so 1.2, let's draw in the slightly, there was a track that's roughly the size of this, and then one of the door is here, one of the door is here. So how do I know which one is a door, which one is not? I make the door slightly. So I mean these two panels as doors. Okay, sliding door. So, okay, some kind of a cabinet. Let's just join in. I don't really have the dimension, but I assume it's about 400 in terms of the depth. And about 600 or 700. So I don't really have the dimension. I should, in theory, measure the dimension, but I'm just going to join the cabinet. It's very easy. Let's make a 700 in there. This is a shower. Okay, and then I have a table. Table I could reach with my arm. This is 1.2. This is about 700. Okay, so if I measure with my this is actually 600, so I'm 10 centimeter off. Okay, 1.2 by 6. So roughly at the corner of my wall, this a little distance from you. So 600 in terms of depth. 600 is here, that's 5, that's 6. And then I'm placing 1.2. Here, 1.1. So I have another table, which is here, and of course other stuff. I'm just going to draw something in there so that you can understand how do we draw. Because I actually do have, I'm going to draw my wardrobe, which should be here. I'm going to draw somewhere here. The wardrobe is 600 in terms of depth. I'll draw you outside of my space. So 600 in terms of depth. So you have to keep measuring. And then 1740. Okay, 1750 is here. Because when it comes to 1 to 50, 4 centimeter and 5 centimeter really is a very small distance, because every 5 centimeter is only 1 millimeter. So each step in reality is only 1 millimeter. So you can tell the difference is very small. So we can sort of ignore it. And of course, I should find the center of my, with my drafting, I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines instead of measuring. because measure can be quite off. So I'm going to use this technique, drawing a diagonal line to meet in the middle, and that's your center. So this is better in case I do a calculation. I would say 1740 divided by 2 equals what, and then I measure it. So which then can be more off than using this diagonal line. So try to use the diagonal line to find your center. And then draw in a little bit the thickness of the cabinet. They're all individual cabinets, so therefore you have 3 lines here, which means you have one board, another board. That's normally how cabinets are built, which they come in as an individual unit, and then we fix them. They come in as this. That's the common way of doing from the factory. Of course, if you build at home, you might actually, build in space so that you might not need another board. So when they come in, they have individual body. They're like boxes. Okay, so, and then of course I have a middle of it is this, and then at the bottom is some kind of a skirting for the cabinet. So I have a 2 of the handle here, and I have some shelving inside. Okay, so draw in those details. If you have a kitchen cabinet, you will do the same. Okay, you will draw in. But of course here you just cross the lines. You don't draw perfect because this is 1 to 50. If you're drawing 1 to 10, if it's much bigger size, then you would draw properly a cabinet with whatever the technique. Possibly, either way, this is one board. Those are separate boards. And the same way, these are one boards. Those are separate. So you might be able to join in more detail, but with this, we just sort of are crossing out the lines and surface. You can ignore those tiny details. And then here, if I like, I can draw another diagonal line. Okay, just to get to the center. Here I'm just guessing. So what you would do is you would draw in your doors. Cannot go all the way there. And by the way, if you are not, and also so the thickness of the door panel, I'm just guessing, in case you're not doing a perfect job in terms of drafting, you have a chance to fix it, which is when you trace it. Okay, when you trace it, you can fix it. Door panel. Another door panel. Okay, I'm off again. So let me fix this. See if I can do it. My pad is off. Ooh, there's a page. Okay, so in case, okay, where am I? In case you're not doing a perfect job in terms of drafting, which you just started, you need some practice. Okay, then we join this. Okay, and for example, if I have a door, let's just say my door is here. I'm going to join a door about 800 maybe. I did not measure. So 800. I'm just randomly joining it. So here is a door. Joining a door panel. Because all of those door panels, I mean, this is the cabinet is very thin. This is 20 millimeter, which is 0.5 millimeter in terms of reality. Okay, so it's like if you see any of this, that's very small. So you can almost, it's just very small, very thin. But the door panel is about 1 centimeter. It depends on your door construction. Is it in the middle of the wall or is it along the inner side? Okay, you should check. And okay, 800 door panel, measure 800, not here. Okay, we should have some kind of circular template once you, if you like. This is one way of doing it, an easy way of doing it. You should have an arc like this, yeah? Not a smaller arc like a banana, like this. This is wrong arc. Okay, you should have a quarter of a circle. So, so what I like to say is, here is 1 millimeter. Here is only ½ millimeter because that's the cabinet door panel. So you want to sort of differentiate them. So eventually, once you've done that, I'm just a little bit ahead of schedule. Today, what you should do is you should finish drafting before now and the next class. You should finish drafting the whole space and of course do some little bit of calculations. See, my place is already off the paper, but what I can do is I can move my paper a little bit and then put in those details, moving things around, and then leave about 6 centimeters, at least 6 centimeters, maybe 7 centimeters to all of the edges. Try to center your drawing. Okay, imagine my drawing is from here to here. So this is actually not correct the size because I'm using a fake scale ruler. So roughly see, what's this dimension right here? This is 26. 26 equals to 13 meters. So if your space is wider than 13 meters, you have a problem of fitting it on A3 paper. Okay, and here, what's this dimension? This dimension is 29, right? So 29, leaving 7 centimeter on both of the edges. So 14, top and the bottom. So you have a 15 centimeter, which divided by 2, I just roughly check. So you have a 7.5 meter. Then if you have more than 7.5 meter, you are a little bit tight. So in that case, 13 meter times 7.5 meter, that's roughly the maximum you could go with this paper. Otherwise, you're a little bit tight, but of course you can extend, you can tape and put more paper, which we would allow you to do. There's never wrong to do more work. So of course tape. Always tape so that things don't move around. Okay. So once you start to trace, that's a separate thing. This is drafting. When you trace over, that's called the inking. Okay. So when we ink, we would ink freehand. So if you are still ahead of schedule, you finished the drafting, what you should do is you should practice on drawing freehand line with your tools. Okay, let me find something that's using for sense. This is rather thick one. So what you should do is you should practice drawing some kind of a freehand line, and then there's technique of doing it. And at this point, we want you to cross the corner, which means when you draw a line, you do not do this. This is wrong. You have to cross the corner, okay? My eyes are pretty bad. I cannot see very well. So here is not good. Yeah? So you needed to practice online, and everyone can go pretty, without the practice for maybe a year. My hand is getting less comfortable. Okay, you could do fast or slow. You could also practice on doing a little bit of shaking. So if you shake a little bit, you can actually do better parallel lines. If you do very fast, it's not easy. Yeah. So if you shake a little bit, so I will do another demo on tracing and which we call inking. So let's stop here and I will see you in the classroom.